Bob Lazar and S-4, the man who claims he worked on alien spacecraft. In November 1989, investigative journalist George Knapp of Claws TV in Las Vegas broadcast an interview with a man calling himself Dennis, a scientist claiming to have worked at a secret government facility near Area 51. The response was significant enough that Knapp followed up with a second interview in which the man, now identified as Bob Lazar, went on camera with his full name. Lazar was articulate and specific. He described a facility called S-4 located at Papoose Lake, built into a hillside with angled hangar doors. Inside, he said, were 9 alien spacecraft. Lazar described the propulsion system of the craft in remarkable technical detail. He said the vehicles used a gravity propulsion system powered by element 115, an element that did not exist on the periodic table in 1989. He described 115 as a stable super-heavy element that could generate gravity waves for propulsion. The craft flew by distorting space-time around them rather than using conventional thrust. In 2003, element 115 was synthesized and in 2016 officially added to the periodic table as moscovium. It is not stable. It does not have the properties Lazar described. Credibility problem with Lazar begins with his education. He claims master's degrees from MIT and Caltech. Neither institution has any record of his attendance. He says records were deleted. Defenders note that the government would have motivation to erase the records of a classified employee who became a whistleblower. Critics note that this is an unfalsifiable claim. His employment at Los Alamos National Laboratory was also initially denied, but a Lassell telephone directory was found that listed his name, establishing at minimum that he had been at the facility. The partial corroboration of Lazar's account is what keeps serious researchers interested. In 1989, he described specific details about the Area 51 complex, the existence of S-4 at Papoose Lake, specific security procedures, a rail system connecting facilities that were not in any public domain information. Some details were later confirmed by other sources. Journalist George Knapp obtained a W-2 form showing Lazar had received payment from the Office of Naval Intelligence, a department that should not have been paying civilian contractors in the way the form suggested. Lazar has described the aliens he claims to have seen in briefing documents at S-4, beings approximately 4 feet tall with large heads and large eyes. He claims the briefing documents placed their origin in the Zeta Reticuli star system, the same system identified by Betty and Barney Hill in the 1961 abduction case. This detail, which Lazar claims came from classified documents, either represents genuine classified information or suggests Lazar was familiar with UFO literature when he constructed his story. The match is either corroborating or damning, depending on interpretation. In 1990, Lazar was convicted of aiding a prostitution ring and received probation. Critics cite this conviction as evidence of poor character. Supporters note it has nothing to do with the veracity of his S-4 claims. In 2019, federal agents raided his business United Nuclear, a legitimate scientific supply company, in connection with alleged illegal hazardous materials shipping. The raid involved the Department of Homeland Security. Lazar stated it was harassment. The raid also inadvertently confirmed several personal details about him that the government had previously denied knowing. The 2019 Netflix documentary by Jeremy Corbell brought Lazar's story to a new generation. New interviews with Lazar and Knapp provided additional context. The documentary was timed to coincide with growing mainstream media coverage of UAP phenomena and the Pentagon's formal acknowledgement of the UAP program. The government's 2020 release of UFO footage and the subsequent congressional hearings on UAPs created a context in which Lazar's 1989 claims, once dismissed as fringe, were being discussed in mainstream news alongside credible military witnesses. Bob Lazar has maintained the same story for over 30 years without significant change. He has not embellished. He runs a legitimate business. He has not profited dramatically from his account. Whether his consistency reflects genuine memory or a well-maintained fiction cannot be determined from public evidence. He remains the most debated figure in UFO history, specific enough to be testable in parts, credible enough in manner to attract serious attention, and mysterious enough in gaps to resist definitive conclusion. The question he raised in 1989 has never been answered. Did someone back-engineer 9 alien spacecraft? We still do not know.